Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Looks like we are live. I'm Mary Grace. This is Real Talk with Mary Grace. And I hope we don't have the same lag that we had last time. It looks like we might have a little bit of a lag. I apologize. I'm not really sure how to change that. As you're coming in, please comment, please share. Hello, everybody. I'm live right now on YouTube, Cloud Hub, and Facebook. So I'm Mary Grace Media. Please follow me wherever you are. I just noticed that I was on Cloud Hub and I only have 10 followers over there. So if you could follow Cloud Hub, that would be great because if I go down on any of these mainstream social media channels, you're not going to know where to find me. And I get emails from people who say, Mary Grace, where's your broadcast? I don't know where to find you. So, this is my warning to you to pay attention and go and set up an account on those other channels because I was saying that for a long time. I was saying, make sure you follow my Facebook, make sure you follow my YouTube. And a lot of you stubbornly refuse to do that. And so now you're emailing me and saying, Mary Grace, where's your broadcast? I can't find you on Periscope. So I'm just telling you, please go to Cloud Hub and follow my channel on Cloud Hub. It is Mary Grace Media. Pretty much everywhere on the internet, you find me under Mary Grace Media. And that, I think there's an imposter on Telegram that has a channel called Mary Grace Media. So my channel, my public channel on Telegram is Mary Grace Media Official. So please be aware of that. Please spread the word. If anybody shares anything from Telegram channel Mary Grace Media, that's not me. I am Mary Grace Media Official on Telegram. That's my public channel. My chat is private. My Telegram group is private. Okay. So just be aware of that. Again, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube right now and you're following me, I don't know how long I'll be on these platforms. And so I'm urging you to go get on Cloud Hub, CLOUTHUB, and set up an account over there and follow me. You can use Cloud Hub on your browser. You can use Cloud Hub on your you can use Cloud Hub on your browser. You can use Cloud Hub on an app. The apps aren't that great, I don't think, but they're getting there. And so this is a developing platform. It is a pretty good platform. Okay, so Diane is on Facebook and she's saying follow Mary Grace in the forum section of Cloud Hub as well, where it's similar to Twitter. Yeah, so Cloud Hub has many functions. One of them is the channel. So I have a channel on Cloud Hub. It's channel 111. And you can subscribe to that channel. I'm urging you to do that. When you go to Cloud Hub, you pick the different categories. So you pick channels, and then you go and you scroll through the channels, and then you'll find channel 111. That's my channel on Cloud Hub. So please subscribe to that because you will get an email when I am live. You don't need to worry about Cloud Hub spamming your email. They're just going to send you an email when I'm live. Yeah, so my number is 111. That's my number. I asked for it and I got it. So that's good. Somebody's texting me right now about something superfoods related, and you may not know that I'm live, but if you are, please wait until I'm done. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, there's a lot happening. I did a walk and talk in DC yesterday on YouTube. I'm going to explain a little bit more about that, but just a little bit more housekeeping. I wanted to be I wanted to remind you of a couple of things. All right. Telegram is an app. Telegram is an app. It's a messaging app primarily. People set up channels on Telegram. There are no verified channels on Telegram. And what does that mean? When you're on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, people are verified. That means there's only one of them. So if you're looking for example, the president, his account on Twitter has a blue check. And that means he is who he says he is, that they've verified legally that that's who he is. In case you're new to this, if you're new to this type of social media, you really need to understand that there are probably 1,000 Lynn Wood channels. There are probably 1,000 Sidney Powell channels. That does not necessarily mean that that is the actual person. So that's why I'm telling you, when you go to Telegram, if you see a Telegram channel claiming to be Mary Grace Media, if it does not say Mary Grace Media Official, then you're not on my channel. And so people are asking me questions about Lynn Wood. I haven't seen his latest. I know that he does have a channel on Telegram. If somebody can message me what he's saying from his real channel, I'll take a look at it. But I'm not going to comment on something that's coming from a possibly fake channel. People are coming out of the woodwork trying to jump on the fear train. They are trying to get information in front of you because you want to because people are grabbing at everything. They want to know what's going to happen and they want to know now. And so these people, they're literally grifters. Uh, they are coming out and they're coming out to fool you. They're coming out to trick you. So please be aware of that. I mean, this happens all throughout history. Whenever there's a problem, whenever there's a fear event, people are always going to jump in to fill the void of the actual news that needs to come out. And right now, we're in a time of communication darkness. The president isn't on Twitter, he's being really quiet. Some of the usual accounts that you're used to following, for example, Praying Medic, for example, my Periscope account, my Twitter account, a lot of the Anon accounts that you're used to following have gone down. Some of them are on Telegram for real, not all of them. Some of them are on Quad Verum, that's another format. Some of them are on Clout Hub. I believe General Flynn is on Clout Hub and he's verified. That's the key. So one thing I do know about Cloud Hub as well is that the owner is really good about verifying people. So I was verified uh, because of Praying Medic, and he helped me get my channel up. So there's a good verification process as far as I know, and so when people have the badge, it's actually legit. So just be aware of that. I really can't urge you enough to be aware of being tricked and fooled. Uh, Praying Medic may be on Telegram, but he does not have a channel that I know of. So please understand this about Telegram. I'm not an expert in Telegram, but I figured out a couple of things. One is there are channels and there are groups, and then there are private messaging. What is the difference? The channel, as far as I understand, a channel can be set up as a private channel where you post only to the people that get invited to follow it, or it can be set up as a public channel. A public channel, in my opinion, in my observation, is like a Facebook page. The owner of that channel and the admins can post to that channel. Anybody that follows or subscribes to that channel can look at the information and reply with a comment. The people who do not own the channel cannot post on the channel. So it's like your Facebook wall. If you come to my Facebook wall, unless I have give you certain permissions, you cannot post on my Facebook wall. Same thing with Twitter. You can't come and post on my Twitter page. That's what a channel is in my opinion, in my observation on Telegram. So be aware of that. Anybody can set their Telegram channel to private. That means that only the people who have a link to get to that channel can get there. The public channel can be shared anywhere and anybody can follow it. So I really want you to be aware of this. And then there's another thing about Telegram that I want people to understand. When you belong to a group on Telegram, if somebody has set up that group, um, Okay, Millie is telling me that there are some verified people on Telegram blue checks. Okay, that's good to know. I don't know how they get those. Again, I'm new to Telegram, so thank you, Millie, for telling me that. So apparently there are verified people. I haven't been through the verified process. I don't know of any of the people that are supposedly posting on Telegram that have been verified. So let me clarify that. Let me go back to what I understand about Telegram. The other thing about Telegram is this, that when you're on Telegram and you're in someone else's group, it's not your private wall. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you find 27 links and articles that you think are just amazing and you want everybody to see them, then it's time for you to open your own channel or your own group. It's not the place for you to drop all of your links in the chat that somebody else set up. So, for example, Mary Grace Media chat, uh, people who are in that, um, they don't come in and drop all your links. And here's why I'm saying this, because everybody's at a different stage in their learning and their understanding. And when you come into a conversation, which a chat on Telegram is, you may have information that you're just seeing for the first time. A lot of the people there have already seen it. And when you start to do that, you're actually breaking up the conversation, and it's like an interruption. The other thing is, as a new person, you actually need to go understand that if you click the profile picture of the person, there's a tab called links, and you can find the links. But what I recommend that you do is go and do the tutorial for Telegram. I should probably do it too. And this is going back to something I was saying the other day. I have people writing to me. I have people asking me how to do things. And I'm going to I'm going to do what I would do to my kindergarten students. I'm going to tell you to go ask a friend and see if they can help you. And if they can't, remember that YouTube could be your friend in this situation. So in your get understanding and go and figure out how to use these platforms. Because if your favorite people are getting kicked off of platforms that you figured out a while ago, then you can figure out the new platforms. But please don't go to people like me and Praying Medic and ask us to teach you how to use it. It's just, imagine, because I had 37,000 followers on Twitter, and a lot of them are all looking for me. And so if all of you email me and ask me how to use Telegram or where I am, it gets a little bit overwhelming. And I'm not saying never to email me, but I'm saying that this is part of the maturing process. This is the part of the growing process, is that it's time to spread your wings and to learn how to do things for yourself. And if you're using the excuse that you're a certain age and that you're not good at technology, I'm sorry, that's just not an excuse. It's time to pull up your knee socks and put on your big girl pants, big boy pants, and figure it out, because everybody else has had to figure it out too. I mean, the president tweets, he's in his 70s. So think about that. I've had to figure out everything that I do online. I figured out my website. It's not perfect, but I figured it out. I figured out all the stuff that I do, my email list. Nobody's doing that for me right now. I figured all of that out. How did I do it? I took courses. There's online courses. There's a program called Udemy, Udemy, that you can sign up for courses for like $10. So just be aware of that. Be aware, and this goes into what I'm going to say today, but part of what I want to say is that the time for handholding is over. And there are a lot of people who have been riding the wave of having everybody do everything for them and having everybody find information and spoon feed them and tell them what to think, and and how to do things, and doing it for them. And a lot of people are just coming from being on the mainstream media. A lot of people are coming from different platforms where they've just been doing the same thing their whole lives. But it's time to adapt. And we are literally at war. And so if you can't adapt, then you're going to be left behind. And I don't mean to sound harsh or cruel. You those of you who know me know that I'm not like that. But I'm just telling you what's real. I'm telling you what's true. You got to figure this out. And if you're not willing, if you just want to cop out, then what does that say about your willingness to stay in this fight? And these may be hard words for some of you, but I hear this so much. I hear from people my age and even younger who say, "Oh, I'm just not technical." Well, you know what? We live in a technological world. That's sort of like saying, "Oh, I don't know how to drive a car. I'm not going to drive." Because a car is basically run by a computer nowadays. So it's a cop out. And it is just another indication that you're in that place where you don't actually want to grow and adapt. And so that's a challenge. You don't have to agree with me, but this is something that I've noticed. And so uh, I have a lot of people who watch me who are in that category of, being a little more mature. And I'm going to challenge you. This is my challenge to you, is to take the responsibility for learning these things. Because if it comes down there, and there are a lot of things you know how to do that other people don't know how to do, and that's great. But we are in a situation where you got to start taking responsibility and adapting. So I'm going to get off of that uh, soapbox for now. But I wanted to just encourage everybody in
And
that. All
adapting.
right.
So I'm gonna
So now, where were we? Speaking of what's coming, people want me to comment on everything that's coming. I want to talk a little bit about what I saw in Washington, D.C. yesterday. So, how many people, please give me a comment, how many people have watched the video that I did in Washington, D.C. yesterday? I did a walk and talk around Washington, D.C. It was over an hour. And I walked around the Capitol and the Supreme Court, and then I walked down some of the side streets. I went by Union Station, and I talked to some people who in my chat saw that. I've had a lot of feedback. I've had a lot of people telling me they watched it. It's had almost 2,000 views. So that was on YouTube. And if you're new, if you're just coming in on Facebook, remember that when I'm out in public, the only way I'm going to go live right now, when I'm away from my desk and my streaming capability, my multi-stream, is going to be YouTube. So again, if you're not on YouTube, if you're for some reason refusing, then you're going to miss my broadcast. That's all I can say. My philosophy with this is people who have deleted, people who have decided they're no longer going to be part of these platforms. Right now, this is where we're still in the fight. As long as I'm on the platform and as long as I'm not getting deleted or banned, I'm going to bring the fight to them. I'm not retreating yet. I'm growing my platforms on the other places. But right now, YouTube is a place that gets a lot of reach. And so I want to reach people who don't know what's going on. Okay. So just be aware of that, and make sure that you get on YouTube and you turn on you subscribe, you hit like. And if you're on YouTube right now, please do that. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up on the broadcast, and then also what do? You like it, and then you can share it to somebody else. So make sure you're doing that. Oh, and hit the bell so you get the notifications when I go live. Okay. And then the same thing on Facebook. I forgot to say, on Facebook right now, please follow my page, but also share this broadcast into groups, because that's how we get around the algorithm on Facebook. And that's how more people find out about me. And one of the easiest ways to find me also is my website, marygracemedia.com. And you can get in touch with me or subscribe to my mailing list through the website. But let's go back to the video that I did yesterday in Washington, D.C. That video was really interesting because I went there with the intention of just looking around and showing people what it is that I saw. because over the last few days, just like with everything else, we have seen some unbelievable fake news coming out of Washington, or even uh, even videos and information that is supposedly out of Washington D.C. but's not, but isn't. And so it's about a 2-hour drive for me to go to Washington, D.C. And so I decided to go just for the afternoon slash evening and and show everybody what I was seeing. That was my whole purpose. I wasn't there with an agenda. I wasn't there to tell you what to think about anything. I just wanted to show people what I was seeing with my eyes, because a lot of you trust me, and a lot of you have been following me for a long time, and so you know that I'm not fake news. And so what I found was interesting. I was there through the 6th, 7th, and 8th, actually the 5th through the 8th of January. And so I was doing some live streaming during that time on Periscope. Unfortunately, most of those got deleted. But one of the things that I wanted to see was how big the perimeter fence got. And it was really interesting because the first time I was there, the day before, I guess it was the 7th of January, I was walking from the Supreme Court down down Maryland Avenue, down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Trump Hotel. And during that walk, I during that walk, I was walking past the fencing that was going up next to the Capitol. And at that time, there was no fencing around the Supreme Court. I encourage you to get a map of Washington, D.C., of the center, and look at the map. There are maps all over the place. You can just Google it and go to Google Images, or go on DuckDuckGo, whatever search engine you use, do that. Okay, so go find it and then look at it. And so because DC is laid out very geometrically, and the Supreme Court is, if you're thinking about the plaza that is either the front or the back of the Capitol. I've never been able to figure out if that's front or back, but I'll say the back of the Capitol. That's where people go in, like to the visitor center and the cafeteria. But there's a plaza, and then there's a street, and then across the street from that is the Supreme Court and the Library of Congress. So the Supreme Court is here. The Library of Congress is here. For some reason, my thing is backwards. But anyway, so the Supreme Court, I guess, is on the northwest corner. Why am I telling you this? Okay, because I want you to get an idea of the distance. And so, if somebody wants to go from the Capitol to the Supreme Court, let's imagine a really cold day or a rainy day. It's not that close because you have to walk across a really, really big plaza to get there. And you have to cross the street. So you have to wait for the light, cross the street, go across the plaza and up the steps to the Supreme Court. I'm trying to give you perspective. They're not smack dab against each other. And so when I was there on the 7th, the fencing was going up along the side of the Capitol and around the Capitol. And that was the unscalable fence. Yesterday, and the other thing is that it was along Maryland Avenue, but you could still access Maryland Avenue. You could walk, you could drive, everything. Yesterday, not only was the fence pulled back around the back of the Supreme Court, but the streets are blocked off, and they're blocked off like by the military. So it's not just one of those situations where you have a little barricade and you show your pass and they move a little gate out of the way and let you through. This is full on, actually more secure than any military base I've ever gone on, which is very interesting. And so that's just interesting to note. And so please go back and watch it, because I think you'll find it very interesting. There were two things that I was trying to figure out. One of them was, did the gates open inward, and is the concertina wire on top of the fencing facing inward, or out. And so concertina wire is razor wire. And those of you who haven't watched yet, what do you think I saw? I want to see some comments. What do you think I found? Do the gates open inward or outward? So remember, if you're trying to keep somebody out, then you want the gates to open out into the street, right? So people can't push them in. If you want to keep people out of your compound, then you put the razor wire on the outside. So if they climb up, if you climb up, then you can't get over. So, okay, I'm looking at your comments. Yeah, so this is really eye opening. The gates open inward, which is kind of interesting. And the wire, all of the concertina wire was inside. So if you're running out the back door of the Supreme Court and you're trying to and get away from insurgents, and you are trying to get over that fence, which is kind of scalable from the inside because the braces that hold the fence are on the inside of the fence. So you could maybe climb on it and then throw something over and climb over the fence. But the concertina wire is on the inside. Yeah, so that's interesting. Now, they didn't have the braces like you see on prisons where the barbed wire is angled. They didn't have those angled braces with barbed wire and then concertina wire. It was just concertina wire attached to the top of the fencing. Okay. Mel is asking you a question. Are they standing on the inside when they put it up? Not necessarily. It's very clearly intentionally on the inside because somebody messaged me on Telegram and they said that this is what they've done in the military, and so there's protocol for this, and they're instructed when they put up concertina wire to have it either inside or outside. It's not accidental. It doesn't rest right on top of the fence. So that's just very interesting. And then the other thing about it is that the gates are opening inward, and they what else? So the other thing they have these plates. They have these security plates that when somebody's entering or leaving, the plates get lowered. And so if you're trying to come in and the plates are up, you're going to jam into them, right? One thing I haven't been able to figure out, and I've got to go back and look at my video on a bigger screen, is do the plates open against the people trying to leave, or do the plates open this way? So are they open toward the people coming in, right? So does it go like that and face the street, and then you drive in and boom, like that? Or is it the opposite? If you're trying to leave, does it go like that? That's what I couldn't figure out, and I was trying to get some people to go and have a look. I may be up there again tomorrow, but I just think it's interesting. Do you find that interesting that we have gates that are opening inward? And I saw a couple of different gates. I saw people leaving while I was walking, and so I stopped and let it show on camera. And then I showed the concertina wire. Now, they wouldn't let me get super close to that concertina wire. So if you have a phone or a small device and you're watching my video, I recommend that you try to watch it on a bigger device and even take a screenshot so you can zoom in and see what it is that I was looking at. But so this is interesting. And so Mel is commenting on YouTube is saying, so it would hurt people trying to get from the inside, not the outside. Yeah. Yeah. So uh from what I'm seeing, it is it the people inside are the ones that are being kept in. I don't know. The other thing that I've noticed is this. I've been in the Capitol. I've been in the Senate and congressional office building sides. Last time, last time when I went to the inauguration, here's what happened. I went. to my congressman's office. It was actually a congresswoman at the time. I went there the Friday before inauguration. Uh, I had to, I had to get there and get the tickets the Friday before. I had to go in person and show ID and get my tickets. And I walked right into the congressional office building. I don't even think I went through any kind of security. And I walked into the office and I said who I was, and they looked me up on the list and they gave me the tickets. And then I left. And then I came back a few days later for the inauguration. That was the procedure. There's no way at this present time that any person who doesn't have some kind of high level clearance or permission could get into any of these congressional offices, because all of those offices are also inside the fencing. And so I want you to picture this. You picture the Capitol right here, and then there are streets that go along the side of the Capitol. And along the hill, it's called Capitol Hill, are buildings. And so on the east side are all the congressional buildings. On the west side are all of the Senate buildings. Those buildings actually have tunnels that go under them. If you've ever seen on the videos where people are going either into elevators or into what look like tunnels, there's even a little train that goes under, like from the Senate to the Capitol. And so there are all these tunnels. You may have heard about them. Well, the tunnels take you from the Capitol into those buildings and back. And so people don't actually have to go outside to get to go outside to get to Congress. So if they have to go and vote on something, you might never see them out in public. I hope this is not too much information, but I'm trying to give you some perspective so that you can picture, because I know that 90% of people have never been there and they don't know what is going on when you see all these gates and everything. So if this is too much information, just tell me. But what I saw when I was there is that the fencing and all of the military posts go now around all of those buildings. And so the only way to get in or out of any of those buildings is to go through the security. You can't even get out. You can't just get in your car and leave the Hart Senate building. You can't just get in your car and leave the parking lot. You have to go through the security arm. Then they lower that steel plate. Then they open the gates inward, and then you drive out. Are you with me? Lisa on Facebook wants me to keep going. I'm trying to paint this picture for you. Now, this is what I witnessed. And so imagine, if you will, everybody who's there is in this perimeter. And a lot of that actually has razor wire around it. The other thing that's going on is that there are multiple concentric circles of fencing. What do I mean by that? So remember, I told you the Capitol is here, and then the Supreme Court is back across the street. Well, when I was there, they were putting fencing around the Capitol. And then, since I was there, they put fencing around the Supreme Court. They did not take out the fencing, as far as I know, that was around the Capitol. They didn't move it. And so you have, picture cookie cutters, right? You've got the fencing around the Capitol, and then you've got another layer of fencing around the Supreme Court, and it goes around and around. And so you think about this. If you ran out the door of the Capitol because insurgents were coming, and you were trying to make your way over to the Supreme Court to hide, you would have to go either through one of those checkpoints to get out, or you would have to go over one layer of fencing with concertina wire on your side, and then you would be like in a DMZ because you would have to go across to the Supreme Court, and then you have to go through that layer of fencing. Isn't that interesting? Does anybody else find this interesting that this is all being done for for an inauguration of a person that didn't have 12 people at that didn't have 12 people at a rally? My Telegram is Mary Grace Media Official. That's the URL. So Telegram t.me/Mary Grace Media Official. That's what the website address has to look like. Okay, yeah. So I think it's interesting. And here's the thing. They were building more fence. Last night on my video, I was showing that they had the little buggies going by carrying more fencing, like little forklift things. They were carrying more fencing. And and I talked to some guys who were building the fence. And I got a little bit of conversation. The one guy really wanted to talk to me. Did you notice that? The one that I said you can take off your mask and he took it off. And he was super ready to talk. And then his boss, supervisor, came and said, you can't talk to them. And so they're instructed not to talk about the fencing. Those guys said that they've been putting up fence for 2 weeks and that they're still working. They were just waiting for their next orders to put up more fencing. And when I was there on the 7th and I was trying to ask about fencing, if you remember, if anybody watched that video, you'll notice that nobody would talk to me then. Everybody was really hush hush, very closed mouth. Can't, nope, I can't tell you what this fence is for. So they're under orders to not to talk. And so I think that's very interesting. And there are at this point, I believe, 25,000 National Guard and other law enforcement types in the city. And then the other thing I wanted to give you perspective on is this. Um, just remember that this morning there was a fire, that there was smoke coming up from east of the Capitol. And I saw a lot of comments of people saying, how in the world can that even happen with all of those military in the city? Well, what you have to understand is that the military are stationed strategically. Um, the military are stationed strategically. Okay, whoever's typing in all caps on my YouTube, just slow it down there. Okay. The military are stationed strategically in different parts of the city or in Virginia and Maryland. Okay. And then they're brought in, they're working shifts. But they're not all over every part of Washington, D.C. When I drove in last night, I drove in an area that is residential. And I was trying to show you that. I was trying to show you that when you go 2 blocks from where the barricades are, everybody's just walking their dogs, going to the grocery store, going to the dry cleaners, trying to eat at restaurants that are closed, that kind of thing. So aside from the ridiculous Rona shutdowns, everything is just normal, okay, as normal as it can be in a city with a tyrannical governor. So just remember that it's highly probable and highly likely that a fire could start in another part of the city. The National Guard are not there. They're not up in people's business. That's not what they're there for. They're there to quell unrest. They're there in case unrest happens around the Capitol. Uh, so I'm getting a notice that one of my streams is lagging. If it's Facebook, I apologize. Uh, so so just be aware of that. I just think people need to understand that the National Guard is not crawling up in everybody's business. Um, they're not crawling up in everybody's business trying to see if they're setting fires under bridges. 5 miles away from where the Capitol is. Okay, so just be aware of that. It's highly possible. I used to live in Waikiki, um, Hawaii, and it's a big island. And when something was happening, even when Hussein would come to the island, you didn't really know unless you were out trying to drive around in that area where they had the roads blocked off. Do you see what I'm saying? You could live your whole life and just be surfing all the time and not really know that that something else was going on, another part of the island. Okay, so somebody's asking about the fire. They think it was a homeless person that maybe they were trying to start a fire to get warm. Who knows? It was like under a bridge. So that's the situation. Is it bad that there was a fire? Possibly, but did it warrant the reaction that everybody had? I don't think so. I mean, they evacuated the capital, or they didn't evacuate them, they sent them all inside. But you saw a video of people getting off of the practice area and being moved. Um, yeah, somebody asked about the tents. Okay, was the fire at the tents that I saw last night? No, the fire was a lot further than that. It wasn't 5 miles. It was probably 2 or 3 miles. But do you see what I'm saying? Um, so just be aware of that. This may not be the most exciting broadcast, and it may not be what you came to hear. Maybe you want to hear that the president's going to come riding in on a horse tomorrow, and everything is going to be solved, and all of the problems of the globalists and the people that are trying to take over our country, and the um, the cookie culture coming in and taking over in America and already being within our borders, that everything is just going to be completely fixed tomorrow or the next day. That's not what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you that um, I still think that it's going to turn out okay. I'm hoping that it's going to come about quicker than we think. I do believe that the military is in charge here. I don't believe that it's the Biden fake presidency that is running things right now. But I think it's really important to have perspective. And there was a time when I said there will not be a Joe Biden presidency, that he will not be sworn in. And that was based on the information that I had at the time, because we saw all of the fraud, we saw the hearings, we believed that the courts were going to work with us. Most of us didn't know even the extent of how compromised even the courts were, right? Is it fair to say that? And so I I am not going to sit here and tell you that I was right, because obviously we're seeing something play out that is very different from what we thought a month ago, 2 months ago. A lot of us are having to course correct. But here's the thing, we understand a lot more now than we did at that time. And we are at war. And one of the things that I'm learning, I've never been in combat, but I'm listening to people who have. And one of the things that we're learning is that you do have to course correct constantly, instantly, and that there are so many moving parts that uh, even a soldier who is in war doesn't even know sometimes 5 minutes on what's going to happen. And so, one of the things that I think is really encouraging is that there haven't been leaks. And remember, I told you that most of the stuff that you're hearing and the intel that you're hearing is most likely fake, because mission security and operational security wouldn't allow that. And if you doubt me, go back and look at all of the ways that Trump has won. All of the big things that he's accomplished over time have been under almost complete secrecy. And who has been the most angry with him for the things that he's accomplished? It's usually the Democrats. It's usually Nancy Pelosi and crying Chucky Schumer, Oh my gosh, he didn't tell us he was going to do that. That's because it would have been leaked. And so the fact that you are in the dark right now is not a bad thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you knew what was coming, then our enemies would know what is coming too. Um, do you understand? So let's think about the things that he accomplished. The Abraham Accords, right? That came out of nowhere. Nobody knew that was happening. Nobody knew that he was brokering peace in the Middle East. He's been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize multiple times since then. It came out of nowhere. Even journalists who haven't really been pro-Trump have acknowledged that he did that. Killing Soleimani, taking out al-Baghdadi, all of the things that all of the things that he has accomplished that have really had an impact have been under secrecy. And so if you think right now that he's just going to come, or his core group is going to come and just spell it out for you and say, okay, guys, I know this is really hard for you not to know what's going on. And I know that you're getting a lot of fake news and you're being really gullible right now. So I just want to stop you right now. Listen, here's what we're doing, and here's the time frame, and here's how this is going to play out. And I want you to just put your mind at ease. And I want you to know that we are just going to move the pieces on this board, and it's all pre planned. And nobody's going to do anything that we didn't expect at the last minute. And we're not going to have to do any adjustments. We're not going to have to course correct at all. I'm here to tell you that from A to Z, this is how this is going to play out. And it's all going to be fine. And you're going to be able to go back to binge watching your shows, and you're going to not be engaged in patriotism anymore. Your work here will be done. That's not what's going to happen. I really need you to understand that. And and some of you are getting there. Some of you are new to this. Some of you feel like you're done and you can't handle the stress. And if you're in that place, I do recommend that you take a break, that you get off of social media, and that you turn off the news, that you just stop listening for a while. Because anybody that's telling you that they know exactly what's happening, or that they're getting secret intel or communication, either the person that is giving them that is guilty of leaking classified information, or they're clairvoyant, right? They're not getting this information. So don't buy into it. And just be careful about that, okay? I really want you to be careful. Do I think that this is going to come out, that we are going to eradicate this hidden enemy from within our shores? Yes, I do. I do. And do I think that the president is just done? That he is going to wander off like a senile old man and go play golf and say, golly gee whiz, I tried. I just didn't know how deep the deep state was, and they beat me at my own game, and I'm the kingmaker. I'm the winner. I told you you're going to get tired of winning, but I lied. Do you really think he's going to do that? No, I don't think he's going to do that. Do I think that a lot of what we're seeing right now is optics? Absolutely. Does he have to leave the White House? Yeah, more than likely. Does Melania have to do a video that says we're leaving the White House? Yeah. But I want to ask you something. I want to ask you to think about what has not been said. I want you to think about that, because what did Melania not say? She did not say that her husband lost. She did not say that he was conceding. She just said, we're leaving the White House. Um, the president has not conceded. He has never said, I lost, that cheater won. He's never acknowledged that. He has said that he would never concede and that he would never give up. And so I really want you to understand that. And I have explained all along that this president has a duty under the Constitution to to preserve this country, and to protect us from enemies, foreign and domestic. And if he doesn't uphold that duty, then he is actually guilty of surrendering our country to a foreign enemy. So let that sink in. Do you think that's in his DNA? Is surrender in his DNA? Because again, what we're looking at right now is the equivalent of a Pearl Harbor attack on our nation. And Secretary Pompeo said that recently. He's been posting a lot, and he said the difference between that one country with the red flag and Russia is that Russia was pretty much self-isolated. The other country is not, it's not a cold war. He said they are already within our borders. And so those of you who have been running around with your hair on fire for the last week or so, a weekend, because somebody told you that we're going into a hot war with that country and that they are going to invade our borders, I want to ask you a question. First of all, what benefit would they have from crossing our borders that are heavily fortified against the strongest military in the whole world? What would they benefit from having a hot war on our soil? That's one question. The second one is, do you really think that it's a ground war? Think logically. What branch of the military was just formalized and was just brought into the intelligence community? Space Force. So if you really think that our country is about to go to war, to a ground war with infantry marching across our borders, um, then I think, hold on a second, I have a troll. It's a little bit lagging here. So yeah, if you really think that, if you really think that that's going to happen, I just want you to start thinking logically. All right, this is yeah, this is not how it's going to play out. So I've told you, I've explained to you that people are using scare tactics. You know, they're trying really hard to they're trying really hard to get your attention, because one of the biggest currencies right now is attention. And that is, okay, I've got a big troll on Facebook. I'm trying to deal with it. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. And so all these people that are jumping in and telling you, you know, that we're going to have this ground war and that these troops are going to invade the country, they're doing it for clicks, you know. I mean, they're trying to get you all twisted up. They're and I wouldn't be surprised if they're brought in by the opposition. Like, do you understand how that works? It's important to understand that, because it is yeah, hold on a second. I just need to get to my page. So there's a lot of optics going on right now, but there are a lot of people out there who are really, really trying to get you wrapped around the axle. And it's time to get smart. It really is, because you know you're allowing yourself to be manipulated into you're allowing yourself to be manipulated into making really bad decisions, I would say. So just be very careful about that. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that's making bad decisions. You don't want to make rash decisions, and you also don't want to you don't want to be sharing all this stuff and getting other people um, you know, upset, because it's just it's irresponsible in my opinion. Um, I'm trying to find the troll that's on my Facebook page. If I have a mod on Facebook that can help me with this, that would be great. Because Facebook won't even let me go back right now and see the earlier comments. But there's somebody really nasty on the Facebook page that's trolling everybody. So, alas, I just can't get to the comments. So we'll go back to that. But so so the point that I'm trying to make to you is that there's a lot happening There are people who have ideas about what's happening. And my take on it is that there is going to be a big turnaround. Is it going to be quick and clean and nobody will have seen it coming? Yes. Is it going to be messy and somewhat uncomfortable and scary, especially to people who haven't been paying attention? Yes. Both can be true. Because think about it, there are people who are not paying attention. There are conservatives uh, who are not paying attention. Yeah, on my Facebook people, I can see the troll. I just don't have a mod on there right now, and I can't see their comment unless I just pull this whole thing over and go through the comments. But Facebook isn't even letting me go back to earlier comments. So just report it, please. Thank you. Yeah, I see her. Thank you. I saw her comment in my thread here. I just can't get to it on my actual iPad. So I'll have to go back. Um, just report it, please. So thank you. Oh, I think Millie is on. Yeah, I think Millie's going to take care of it. Thank you, Millie. So yeah, and speaking of instability, let me just go back. I do believe that patriots are in control. I do not believe that anybody who loves this country and has sworn allegiance to this country will allow what what has happened. They will not allow our country to be stolen because even though YouTube wants us to say that the election was officially called for Joe Biden, we know that there is tremendous evidence to the contrary. And so our president, our military, our true military, not the people that are globalists that have been compromised, those people will not allow this. And if they do, then they are guilty of surrender. Then they've waved the white flag and they've surrendered our country to foreign invaders. There's no two ways about this. I want you to think long and hard about whether you believe that President Trump will allow that. And you don't have to understand everything that's happening. You don't have to understand it. What you do have to do is trust our president and trust our military who have sworn their lives to protect you and to protect and defend our constitution. So this is really important to understand. Uh, right now, we're flying blind, most of us. There's a communications blackout. You can't find the people that you normally uh, would follow. And so this is a time to really dig deep and to trust God, to trust our president. He has upheld his promises. He has kept more promises than he's made. Do you think that he will break this promise? He promised that America would never become a communist country. And he promised that he would never concede. So do you think that after all he's been through, that he is breaking this promise? I don't think so. So it really, this is a really, if you ever were thinking that it's a time to have increased faith and to practice your faith, this is the time. If you ever thought that you needed to pray more, this is the time to pray more. Now, Kat Kerr and a number of the prophets who have heard from God about this presidency is they're unwavering. And Kat Kerr is saying that God told her to celebrate. We would never celebrate our country falling to communism. And so God is not letting go of our country. He is not turning our country over to that evil. So just take heart. Are you going to have some difficult days where you don't understand? I think you are, but I'm really encouraging you to hold the line. And you probably are going to have people on the 20th who say, it's time to move on. We tried our best. A lot of conservatives, a lot of so-called conservatives, they don't understand the extent of what's going on here. But I want to emphasize, and I will never stop emphasizing this, there is no scenario in which that other person won. That was stolen. That was that our country has been invaded by a foreign power. So there is no scenario in which I or any patriot should ever acknowledge that person, even if he gets sworn in. And I really want you to hold the line, and I want you to understand that even if that happens, it's not over. And it may feel like a gut punch, it may feel like a sucker punch, but you need to understand that the story's not over. And do I think it's going to drag out and take a long, long time? No, I don't. Is it going to be, could it be hard to see what's happening and to go through it? It could be. So just be aware of that, okay? But never, ever, ever give up and never agree with what they're telling you is true, because it's not. And trust me, you probably already do. You probably have friends and family who are telling you just to move on. I will never move on, and I will never give up, and I will never concede that my country is stolen by communism. Never. There's too much on the line. There's too much history. There's too much history in my family for me to even acknowledge or allow that thought. I don't know about you, but this is no small thing. So somebody's asking about civil war. No, I don't believe that's the case. We're not in a situation. The only thing that anybody, if anybody's saying civil war, they are probably trying to sow division. We're not in a civil war. We don't hate our brother. This is a war against a foreign power that's invaded our country. That's not civil war. They want you to think it is. Um, they also want you to think that people showing up armed at these so-called protests are, white supremacist insurrectionists. They're not. Um, so there's going to be a lot of optics that you might not understand. There's going to be things coming your way that that just aren't real, and so you really have to hold the line and pray for the president. Pray for all of the military that are conducting these operations that are bringing about really Operation Freedom. I don't know what they're calling it, but you know, they're extracting our country and our presidency from the people who stole it. Now, Bard's FM, Scott seems to think that they have to allow the usurper to be sworn in to complete the theft so that he could actually be qualified as an enemy domestic. So all enemies, foreign and domestic. So keep your head on straight, keep your faith in God, stay grounded in your faith, and do not allow anybody to talk you into walking away and giving up our country to the people that have stolen this election. Don't do that. Um, so somebody's asking, how long do you think it will play out? See, that's the kind of question. If you ask that question and try to get an answer, you're going to drive yourself crazy. It's going to take as long as it takes. Okay. So just be aware of that. Um, so this is really one of the most important times in the history of our nation since 1776. So don't lose it. Don't check out. Don't be that person that says, "Okay, I'm done. The 20th came and went. There's nothing else we can do." Absolutely not. So just be aware of that. Okay. Don't allow yourself to fall into that. This is a time to muster all of the strength you have and to get your strength from God. All right. So I may be in Washington the next couple of days. I'm just trying to decide if I want to go and be up there. If I am, remember, you need to be following my YouTube channel because I will broadcast on YouTube. I will not be broadcasting from the other channels. But in the meantime, make sure you're following my Clout Hub channel 111, Clouthub. You can do it on a browser or through the app. Make sure you're subscribed to that channel because if I get taken off of these other channels, you won't be able to find me. And you shouldn't at this point, you shouldn't have to be emailing me to figure out where I am. Okay. Because I'm telling you that people that I know are being taken off of these other platforms. And so it would be great if we stay on here and leverage it. Is it guaranteed? No. So just be aware of that. If you're watching on Facebook right now and you haven't already done it, please share this broadcast into all of the groups that are appropriate to share to. Just forward it instead of sending it to somebody's inbox, send it to a group. That's how we get around their algorithm. If you're on YouTube, please make appropriate comments. And also, if you're watching the replay on YouTube, please make comments as well, because the live comments don't show up on the replay. The more you engage, the more you hit the thumbs up, the more you subscribe, the more we break the algorithm and the video gets in front of more people. So please do that. That will help us a lot. And make sure that you have my website bookmarked, Mary Grace Media. If you want to join my email list, there's a way to do that. If you just go to my website, there's a little floater that pops up and you can put your information in. Sometimes people say it doesn't work. If that happens, clear your history, your browser history. Again, if you don't know how to do that, ask a friend. Um, so um, let's see. My Telegram channel is it's the Telegram URL, like t.me or whatever, and then it's / Mary Grace Media Official. That's my channel. And I think the name of it is Official Mary Grace Media. So just be aware of that. Don't follow fake channels. Uh, what else? Okay, don't forget that you can still get superfoods. We're actually doing a superfoods transformation right now. I have a lot of people who are doing really well. They're losing weight, they're getting more energy, they're getting rid of the brain fog. We have the best organic superfoods on the planet delivered right to your door, and you can get a voucher to save money off of that. It's you can get a voucher to save $100 or more off of a 30-day supply. And so you can message me info@marygracemedia.com to get that voucher and just put superfoods in the subject line and I'll get you that information. This is a great program. Right now we're doing online coaching once a week. We're also doing a private Facebook group and a private Telegram group for anybody who jumps in and makes the purchase and wants to do this transformation. So it really is a great time to do that because one of the things that is so important right now is to get yourself healthy because we have a long fight ahead of us. There's a lot of reform that has to happen and we need healthy people. And people have been dumbed down and they've also had their health attacked. So take responsibility, get better food into your body, get superfoods into your body so that you are eating organic. You don't have to go out and buy a whole refrigerator worth of um, food that you're never going to end up eating. Our superfoods kind of help you take care of that. And it's a lot better. So info@marygracemedia.com. Send me the email, get your voucher, save your money. This is a great time. Anybody that's looking for another opportunity for income, there's also a great opportunity right now to do that. Some people are changing direction. You're making different decisions about how you want to go. Maybe you had to shut down a business. Maybe you want to start a business. Talk to me about that. If you're entrepreneurial and you're really confident and you have a sort of a winning mindset, I want to talk to you. So please message me, info@marygracemedia.com. If somebody could put that in the Facebook chat, that would be really helpful. and give me the topic superfoods in the subject line. Everybody else, please try to get on my mailing list for other updates, and that is just through my website, marygracemedia.com. Some people, when ask me about the superfoods, when you buy the superfoods, I do get a commission, so it's win-win. You get the benefit of the superfoods, and then I get a commission, and it works. It works. The other thing is, if you don't want to do that, if you just want to partner with me, you can go to my website, marygracemedia.com, and you can click on support. And there's different ways you can support the show through different apps that you can. You don't have to have the app. It's just through different payment processors. So you can do that. Okay. I'll be back most likely tomorrow. Just keep your YouTube on and make sure that you have your notifications on, because if I do go to Washington tomorrow, I'll try to walk around and get you some information during the day. So we'll just see how that goes. I will see you soon. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you to everybody that has shared the YouTube and has followed and watched. I really do appreciate it. Hold the line. Make sure that you are watching real news, not fake news, and that includes on new media. And just really use discernment and pray for discernment and wisdom right now as you have information coming to you. I really appreciate all the follows, all the information, all of the communication, and all the prayers. So please just keep me in your prayers, and I will see you soon.